Hello, good day, and welcome here in Venture Capital TV. My name is Xavier Borgia, and like every session, we bring you the innovation, technology, and solutions you want to hear about. During
Hmm.
all our sessions, you get to hear directly from the CEOs or the relevant speakers about the upcoming projects. Today, I'm super glad to introduce a great project, Yield Guild Games, represented by Dan, the head of investments, and Irene, co-founder and Indonesia country head. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Never been better. Thank you. Thank you for having us, Javier.
Yes,
Thank you, Irene.
doing amazing. Here to happy to represent YGG Southeast Asia. Very excited to be on tonight.
Oh, fantastic! We're really excited because we hear a lot about your project. We know it's one of the largest ones out there, so we're going to have a lot of questions. And before we move on to the interview, as a reminder to our viewers, you can always see our previous shows by visiting latoken.com/VCTV/shows. You can follow us on all socials like Facebook and Twitter. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button because you can get great content opportunities and giveaways. So, as a reminder, this month we are doing a metaverse month for January. This is a very hot topic. So, that's why very, very glad to have YGG on board. And to our viewers, just one final piece of information. Remember that anything mentioned here is not any type of financial advice. Do your research before making a decision. The choice is yours. With that said, and that out of the way, let's start with YGG. So, can you please let us know a little about yourself and about the project?
Sure. Dan, you want to take that?
Sure, a little bit about myself. I actually come from a finance investment bank background, but I've spent the last 10 years or so in the gaming industry. I spent a good part of the last decade at Riot Games, first leading their international publishing, then the global expansion teams. And then after our acquisition by Tencent, I came over to head up operations for Riot China. The last couple of years, I've been focused mostly on advisory and consulting blockchain companies trying to enter the gaming space. So 2021 was a great year when finally the two industries started converging en masse. So excited to be here. Irene?
Awesome. Hi. I think Javier already made an introduction of myself, but just very briefly, I used to be in corporate finance where a lot of the boring things happen. And then I realized that, oh, you know what? There are more to life. So I jumped over to the gaming side, the brighter side of things, and started off a gaming venture capital fund right here in Southeast Asia. At around 5 years ago, and that's my entry point into the gaming industry. And right now, I'm with YGGC. So Javier just now is asking, what is YGG? So YGG is essentially a sub-DAO of YGG. So for those of you who are familiar with YGG, you would have read the YGG white paper. This is an execution of that white paper, that having a sub-DAO. And a lot of people ask us the questions, why do you want to have a sub-DAO? Well, the thing is, even though we like to float and fly around in the metaverse, it's always good to have feet on the ground. And that's the key to success for any communities that's being built. And so having the sub-DAO in each locations where each co-founders are in, it enables us to be closer to the community and make a bridge from the real world to the metaverse world so that we can embrace everyone into our metaverse and also to be that friendly faces, because all this time the gaming industry and the crypto industry, a lot of people have been looking at it on the sidelines wanting to come in and not sure how to, and we want to be that bridge to make that happen by having the sub-DAO.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Irene and Dan. And one question that I would like you guys to touch base with first of all is the metaverse. Can you explain in your own words what it is?
All right, I'll take that.
Okay.
The metaverse is like it's another layer to the existence, right? So for example, 10, 15 years back, nobody knows what internet is. So it's like metaverse is right now, everyone is trying to to define what is a metaverse, right? So it was like back then, what is internet? Oh my God, if you go into the internet, there's so many bad things that's going to happen to you. In a similar fashion, a lot of people, because not knowing what a metaverse is,
Mhm.
that's a big question marks. And because we are so early on in the metaverse, mm, we still do not know what it's going to be. But having said that, right now at this stage, we have a glimpse of what a metaverse is. It's an extension of our actual reality or actual world. For example, I have a real face, right? Of course. But with this snap camera, I'm able to have an avatar. So for anyone out there who would like to know what a metaverse is, actually a glimpse of it was shown in one of the movies called as Ready Player One. So
Mhm.
that is a glimpse of what the metaverse is going to be. The reality of what the world is going to be is really dependent on us, whether we want it to be like what's depicted on the movies or we want to make something different. That's all
Mhm.
our role right here. So that both the metaverse and the real world are as beautiful. And we can do that.
Okay, I think, and you actually think that it will come to that point where it will be like in that movie?
I think so. I'll be very excited. Oh my God, Dan drop out right there. I believe we would, Javier, because but I do not hope that the real world is going to be that way. I hope that both will be, you know, there will be some convergence points, and
Uh-huh.
both will be as beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, because in the movie, I think it was a little bit more of a post-apocalyptic thing going on there. No, but I
But
agree with
that's
everything that's happening now. I think the metaverse will completely transform how we would experience the internet.
indeed, indeed. And Javier, I think that movies serve as a perfect reminder for all of us, right? That all this time we've been exploiting the world, the nature, so to speak. And if we don't do something about it, that's what the world's gonna be. So in that movie, the metaverse is just an escapade, right? For people to
Yeah,
get into
exactly.
better locations. But right now, that movie serves as a reminder. Do we want it to be that way? Or we can just pick all the beautiful things that's there and apply it, and at the same time, don't ruin the planet.
Yeah. Well said. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. I guess that a simpler definition of the metaverse. For me, it's just the evolution of the internet. The
Hmm.
metaverse represents like almost an infinite number of connections between any two individuals, objects, etc., uh, without any governance, without um, having to need a third party. This direct connection is what the metaverse is all about, and it surfaces some of the greatest opportunities that all of humanity is ever going to see, but also some of the more dangerous things. We're here to help provide an easier onboarding experience into the metaverse.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for those words, Dan. To our viewers, I would like to remind you that you are able to drop us your questions. We will answer them live to the project. And to move on, going back to specifically uh, this concrete project, YGG. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the problem that you foresaw at the beginning and motivated you and your co-founders to start the project? Who will take that?
Yeah, I can. I can take the first half, and then Irene can take the second half. Um, for us, when YGG itself first started, it was born out of a very still very difficult time in history, which is COVID. There was mass unemployment. People were struggling to make ends meet. But at the time, Gabby, the founder of YGG, realized that there is a way to both provide an enjoyable gaming experience while having an opportunity to feed family and make a viable living out of this. Hence, kind of the play to earn aspect was born. But realizing the need to help individuals onboard into this because the costs to onboard were pretty high, he came up with the concept of guilds. Though concept of guilds have been around forever, it's just this way in the Web3. It's able to be formalized with smart contracts and automation, and us providing scholarships to gamers formally, and then sharing in the rewards of that. And so, you know, the very inception of this started as a way to give back and support and help the community, and then realizing that, well, gamers everywhere around the world are different. Like the cultures, habits, languages of gamers in every region, every country are different, and therefore the best way to support, like Irene said before, local gamers around the world isn't by creating one giant DAO or organization to make decisions on behalf of everyone. It's to split off into focused, uh, locally organized, locally resonant sub DAOs that can better serve the local players' interests through, like I mentioned earlier, games specific to that region, in languages localized for that region, via marketing and support and methods that only exist in that region. And so that's kind of what we are here to do as the first official sub DAO of YGG. YGG Southeast Asia is focused on our kind of our foothold region here in Southeast Asia. And so now we have presence in, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, and growing. We want to be everywhere where our scholars are in Southeast Asia.
Okay, and so this is the first sub DAO, right?
Yes.
That you have.
Yeah.
How many do you
Yes. So
forecast to have in the future?
yeah, so we already have two other sub DAOs officially announced. YGG India,
Yeah.
so indie.gg just started. LATAM as well,
Oh, you have
ola.gg.
LATAM as well.
Yes,
Oh, that's great.
ola.gg. And we partner with a couple organizations in guilds in Brazil as well. And so, everywhere there are players, YGG Main aims to be a guild of guilds, providing infrastructure, support services, and then help seed the NFTs that it can acquire because of its early first mover status and strength in the industry to help provide other guilds with the equipment, namely
And
NFTs needed.
And how can a community apply for this? How can they reach out and say, "Hey, I don't know, I'm in Mexico, for example."
Yeah, Irene?
Yes, for the scholar onboarding, right? So YGG SEA, we have our own Discord channels, but of course it's also linked to the YGG Discord. So if you go into the YGG Discord, you'll be able to find all the informations. And as you go into, for example, I'll take the example of YGG SEA. There are scholarship forms that are available in different languages that scholars can apply to. Because tying back to what Dan was mentioning at the very core, in the very beginning of why we created YGG was because there are a lot of people who want to enter into the play to earn space and could be helped, truly helped economically and financially through that play to earn economies, but are not able to do so, right? And a lot of these people, they do not have the benefits of speaking English. We have been taking this language for granted, you see, that a lot
Mhm.
of communities do not know how to speak the language, let alone read it. So, what the subDAOs do in each and every country is to translate everything to a local language, including, for example, in Axie Infinity cases, the cards of Axies are translated to local languages as well.
Right.
And so, it comes to the transitions is for anyone out there who are listening, if you know people who do not speak the English language, do not shy away from play to earns, because again we want to be the friendly faces, not only for for the non-crypto natives, not only for the non-gaming communities, but for anyone who have language barrier, and we will be there to bridge that. I think that's the important point. Just come over to the subDAO's Discord, and you'll be able to see that there are languages in different, in multiple languages. Even our forms are in local languages, Javier.
Wow, that is fantastic news, actually, because I do interview a lot of different projects, and they just expect the community to just speak English, and there's no major other assistance available. It's just like they would assume that. So you're taking it really to the next level by forming these sub DAOs. So that's impressive. So well done.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and if you take it one step further, you can imagine the games players like to play in every region are different.
Yes.
Hmm.
Japan, North America, Southeast Asia, LATAM. Obviously, football style games are very popular in Latin America, and we've
Yeah.
worked with our YGG partner there, ola.gg, to invest early in some of those games. Those don't translate as well in Japan, perhaps, but then again, JRPGs in Japan are all the rage. So, from the games that we invest in to provide to our scholars are just as different as the languages that we supported in.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's cultural differences in even the games that they like to play.
Yes, I
Um,
always use the silly example. It's like McDonald's India, McDonald's China, McDonald's Japan. They all serve different things on the menu because, well, it's a reflection of local taste and culture.
yeah, I agree. I was working in Hong Kong, and then yeah, to go to Burger King or McDonald's is a different experience that you would have in Europe or have not in America. I agree with that.
It's the
Great, yeah,
localizations, right?
yeah, it is. Great. Now, I usually like to to ask from the project when we're having an interview if they can tell us their elevator pitch, which is basically if you would meet with somebody and you just have like 2 or 3 minutes to get your whole project, your whole concept summarized for that person to understand, taking account that that person might not be very familiar or with the metaverse or with tokens or with cryptos. How can you give us a 2 3 minute summary of your project, the YGG, now for our viewers?
Why don't each one of us do it, and then you'll be the judge on who does a better job?
Okay, I'll agree with
Because
that.
we'll be looking at each other. Who's gonna freaking do it?
Okay, who
Dan,
wants
you
to
want to
start?
start?
Sure. Oh goodness, this is all right. I would say if the elevator pitch is this, we have 2.5 billion gamers around the world, and only about 100,000 of them
Mhm,
ever make a livable wage through gaming, right?
mhm,
Uh, and so our project is at its core here to change that, to turn gaming into a suitable and sustainable profession for anyone who wants it to be. Now we do this through a feature of gaming. It's a new feature called Play to Earn, which is possible through providing players digital ownership over the time and assets that they earn in games. So
okay.
imagine any game you've ever played. You've never owned anything inside that game. It always belongs to the developer. They get to monetize it. Whatever you spend is theirs. Now, everything you do in a game, it belongs to you. And the results of that means you get to directly convert your time into some form of value, whether it's a cryptocurrency or local fiat. Our job is to enable everyone the ability to onboard into this, even if they don't have the initial capital to put up to say, play just as well. A good example is not everyone has the cash to buy a car to be an
Mhm,
Uber driver. Well, we're kind of Uber here in the Web3 world. We're providing these NFTs that enable you to play and earn more efficiently, effectively, and sustainably. Therefore, our goal is to help as many individuals onboard into this play to earn economy as possible. That's kind of my elevator pitch.
Great,
Crap! How
great.
am I gonna beat that?
Yeah, I know. Team Dan. Yeah. Irene,
All right.
you're next.
To be fair, that was a bit longer, so I'm going to keep it short. So, what I would say is YGGC is a project for everyone. If Dan mentioned 2.5 billion, I'm going to extend it to 8 billion people throughout the world because whether you believe it or not, whether you admit it or not, everyone is a gamer inside all of us. That's why every sector of the world is trying to gamify whatever that's boring. Even the banks are gamifying their e-learnings. And so, if you have been wondering, wanting to come into the metaverse, whether it is be a gamer because you don't have the money to buy into play to earns, or you have too much money and yet you don't know anything about play to earns, anything about metaverse, this is a project for you because this is like the meeting point, the melting points between the investors and the ones who wants to enter into the gaming side of the world. For the investors, imagine us as being a mutual funds. If you look into all the games that are out there as a play to earns, you'll be confused because there are so many of them. Dan and I, we sit in every single pitch every day and there are just so many, and we don't pass every one of them. So you have an automatic filter through us to get all the best games out there available in the market, invest in them on your behalf as a reflection of the tokens that's coming up, right? So that's one. And second, unlike mutual funds, the moment your assets are acquired, those assets are going to put to use. And it's a combination of profit and purpose, because you'll be getting returns on your investments, because all these assets will be deployed to scholars, making such huge impacts to the world and those gamers that otherwise will not be able to enter into the metaverse world. And they could earn the money. You could earn the money. Isn't that a beautiful world?
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Both of those explanations, I think you're both winners. Very good, very detailed, very straight to the point.
That's not fair.
Javier is trying to be like, what is this dude?
Irene gets one extra bonus point because of the avatar.
Thank you, Javier.
Yeah, she said 8 billion. 8 billion is higher than 2.5, so she wins.
She wins. To our viewers, please drop us your comments in the chat. We would love to hear from you. If you do want to learn more about this project, please do visit YGG. The website is down, as you can see below, yieldguide.io. You have all the information. You can get in contact with them through Discord. Please learn more about this project. It's making a difference. It's a great project out there. So I would encourage you very much to learn more about it by doing your own research. Having said that, let's continue. Really exciting, really good, ambitious project. I love the part of the Subdials. I haven't heard that before. But I also know you do have a token, right?
Coming up soon.
Coming up soon. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How does the token get involved in the whole project and the ecosystem?
Sorry, I had to sneeze earlier.
Bless you.
Thank you. Dan, you want to take that?
Sure. Can you repeat the question one more time so I know exactly?
Yeah, it's about the token. How does the token get involved in the whole project and the ecosystem?
Got it. Yeah. So the token is a reflection of all the value, the scholars that we're onboarding, the yield that we're generating, all the investments that we've made into NFTs and other game tokens as part of our normal operations. And so, this token will be used for specific in-game burn events, prioritization, voting and governance. Essentially, because we are a DAO, by holding the token, you are lack of a better word, a shareholder in the company, and you get to hold sway over the decisions that we make. So, for instance, if a particularly large portion of the population wants or likes one game over another, the end goal is that we put the power of selection and prioritization into the hands of our token holders. This also comes with it the power to say, we want less split with the scholars. For example, if all the scholars are token holders, maybe they vote that the organization takes even less of a revenue share, and even more is diverted to the scholars. Or maybe we do more airdrops for all token holders, things like that. A lot of these decisions will be driven primarily by all of our token holders via governance votes. And so, holding the token, the YGG SEA token, you'll basically be able to own a percentage of all the activities and value that we're creating by building very focused and thriving play-to-earn ecosystems in Southeast Asia.
Okay, great. You mentioned obviously that you will have in the future airdrops. You might have a trading competition, staking, and so on. Is there or is it possible for you to disclose when will you start issuing the token? When will be the launch?
It'll be Q1 of 2022. Early this year. We just haven't pegged the exact date yet. Also, I can say soon. But
soon, okay. Yeah, because I'm sure all our traders are just going to jump on it. Okay, so the first quarter this year.
Yes, and we put out an article on our Medium about us launching via a public fair auction using LB or liquidity bootstrapping balancing pool, copper launch. And so, if you guys would like more information, it's on our Medium as well. And the only thing it's missing is the date, which we're not
Okay.
100% sure yet either. So that's why we haven't announced.
Okay, perfect. Then to our viewers, you should keep an eye on the website, on the media. It will be disclosed, but you already have an advance that it will be first quarter this year. So keep your eyes open. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. On this, you already a little bit touched base before, but can you explain what makes your, no, actually, before that, let's talk about the benefits for investors. What can investors expect when they will invest in your token?
I'll take that one. We'll take turns for that.
Yeah, sure.
For I think Dan mentioned it earlier, right? That um, for token holders to come in, first it's like investing into a mutual fund, or investing into a companies without having the headache or to swift through all the play to earn games that are available in the market and how to deploy them to make it useful. So that's one thing that we do for our investors. And second of all, as our token holders also, there are tons of benefits that comes with it. And it's not only tokens that we have, we also have an NFTs that's called as the YGG SEA badge. So if you head over to our website, yggc.io, that's right there down below, you'd be able to mint the badge. And we put it on a Polygon network, so it's affordable for everyone. And as of now, I think we have more than 100,000 people that have minted the badge. So a lot of people ask the same questions. What to expect with the badge? So the badge itself is like a passport into the YGGC metaverse, and having the tokens is like having a stake in the YGGC projects, and of course creating impacts for everyone that's out there. And specifically for the Subdao, the sea region. So a lot of people ask me this question, Javier, is it only for Southeast Asian? Well, it's YGGC, right? YGG Southeast Asia. A lot of people have thoughts that Southeast Asia is the next economy powerhouse, but because not everybody is having exposures here, then if any investors out there who would like to have exposure to the Southeast Asia market, then that's the
Mhm.
token for you to hold.
Okay, so they can have access to this Southeast East Asian through this token. They could give us just basically exposure.
Correct,
That's
because
it.
the scholars that we have are all Southeast Asian based, and although for the games we will cater them to Southeast Asians' taste, we would also be stocking out for local game developers that are available in the region, so that they could also, you know, put forward those culturally diverse games that are available in this region to the world. So we're doing
Okay.
it both ways, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Another question I wanted to ask is if you can please explain what makes your project different so that the viewers, investors can move forward and start actually later on to invest in the project.
That's going to be a difficult question because it depends on the comparison, right, Javier? But if I'm
Mhm.
to summarize it in a very briefly, is that I mentioned it earlier that we are the bridge, right, between the metaverse and the real world. And what I forgot to mention earlier with regards to our scholars is a lot of them they do not have bank accounts, Javier. So
Mhm.
it's only after they become our scholars then, and the first wallet that they have is not a bank account; it's thrown in wallets or MetaMask wallet, right? So we are the first project, I believe, that have touched base with the reality with on the ground, speaking to real people, not just avatar people like Dan, for example, right? Not like this one. So speaking to real people, know who they are on the ground, teaching them how to play the games in local language, and also to teach them how to convert tokens. Imagine these people are people who do not even have a bank accounts, right? So we start off by hand holding them on how to create, change their tokens into fiat money, and then open bank accounts so they can use it for their daily lives. So that touch point is very much crucial for the subDAO for it to be effective. And it's not only to the scholars. So we find out in our experience of fundraising. So we are one of the very few, I believe, that have traditional banks who invest in a metaverse project. BRI Ventures, for example, is an Indonesian government-owned largest bank, and they invested in YGG SEA. UOB Bank invested in YGG SEA. Bukalapak, one of the unicorns, if not mistaken, or decacorn even in Indonesia, invested in YGG SEA, and this is their first investments into the crypto world, right? And that shows the confidence that people have into this. And we are trying to include people who previously would be thinking twice or 10 times about investing into the metaverse world. Uh, and their first choice is YGGC. So that's the difference. While we develop in the metaverse, while we dance and grow in the metaverse, we also embrace the non-metaverse citizens to transition them into YGGC metaverse.
Okay. Well, I think you have like 4 or 5 different differentiators right there, and one that I was not aware of, that you have the venture capitalists like bankings, financial institutions that already have placed a certain amount of investment with you guys, and that considering there has been one of the first metaverse projects that they have invested in. So I think it does reflect a lot of confidence from their side. And among the other things that, yeah, you mentioned as a differentiator is also to involve those people that are the unbanked people, that people are, those are the ones that people just, they don't, nobody's really paying that much attention to them. So definitely, I see quite a few differentiators there, and it doesn't matter really who you're comparing, who you're benchmarking yourself against with. Those are still valid, very strong differentiators. Uh, Now, to keep moving on, Dan, the roadmap. Where do you see this project going in the next 3 years?
Good question. We've started out with a bang. We're I would venture to say we're, if not the one of the largest guilds already in the world.
Hmm.
After basically just officially starting November 1st, and we're aggressively deploying our initial investments and capital to provide scholarship opportunities for the thousands and thousands of individuals on the waitlist. That, well, it's not that there's not people that want to be scholars. People are lining up. We just don't have enough NFT assets for them. So this initial phase has kind of been a land grab and just trying to scale up as much as possible. But if you're asking me to look out 3 years, where we're going to be, I think 3 years from now, the entire GameFi, industry or movement is simply going to have merged with gaming. Everything is just going to be gaming, and play to earn is just a feature of gaming, right? When you connect your wallets, that's going to be the way accounts are managed, through decentralized IDs, through accounts. And so our job is to be on the forefront of investing into all these tools, services, the infrastructure needed to provide a healthy gaming play to earn experience. And then also to invest in the right games, right projects, and I dare to say the right metaverses in the future, so that 3 years from now, our scholars in Southeast Asia are one of the most or one of the best equipped and well set up to take advantage of all the opportunities in the metaverse. I think traditionally Southeast Asia has been underserved, but in this movement to Web3, embracing Web3 and the entire GameFi early adopter experience, Southeast Asia has been leading, and I think will continue to lead. And that's why you'll see 3 years from now, Southeast Asia being one of the most dominant forces in metaverses, in the play to earn genre of gaming. And 3 years from now, I think you'll see guilds essentially acting very much in a similar way as guilds have always acted. We're here to help coordinate and support our players, our gamers, provide them all the equipment to get started. And then long term, I think, guilds, we're not here to make money off of our scholars. We're here to provide them better services, better opportunities. And in doing so, just with the very assets that we have, the NFTs and the early stake from tokens, we will be able to keep sustaining and growing, so that maybe long term we don't ever take any split from scholars. It's truly a scholarship in that it's free, no questions asked. We provide people the opportunity to onboard into the metaverse for any gamer in Southeast Asia. So that's kind of probably the 3-year roadmap. Lots of milestones to hit before then, but I can see that as kind of like our end state goal.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Irene, do you share the same? Do you have
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
yeah, just would like to add one more thing, I guess, is that like what Dan said, we want to make gamer an occupation, right? So this is like, if we look a few years back, YouTuber is not really an occupation, and right now it's an occupation. Or esport pro
Mm-hmm.
player is not really an occupation. So what we see is, before it was YouTube, you have to be a pro player, right? It's very centralized at the top. But with play to earn, it's going to be democratized where everybody could earn through games. That's the play to earn. And YGG SEA, we are the first guild, I dare say, that offer multiple scholarships to a player can play multiple games, and so they could increase their revenues or their earnings through the multiple games. This month, no, actually, before the end of last year, we have rolled out 2 games. One is obviously Axie Infinity, like every other guilds, and the second one we have rolled out Star Sharks. And this month itself, we are rolling out 1 to 2 more games, and we have a few more in the pipelines in February. So there will be multiple games that we are rolling out. So one player might potentially have more than one games that could increase their earnings, and in certain countries will be way above the minimum wage of that country.
Okay, great. Yeah, as I liked what you said. Like in the future, gamers can be a full-time job. Me coming as an old timer, when I was still playing with what was available, Nintendo, Atari, you would always hear from their parents, "Why are you playing? That you will never make money out of that." Now has changed. Life has changed so much that you are able to do it, and probably in the next 3 years there will be like obviously people full time dedicated to that. So definitely, I agree. I agree. Thank you for that. We have a few questions from the audience. So due to time, I'm going to just put on a couple. Um, Salvador is asking how we can have accounts in YGGC.
I'll drop a Discord link so you can go there, and there are application forms that are available. Um, so you could apply through that channels.
Okay, so you can apply the channels in Discord. There you go.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Um, uh, Now, one more thing. What, as a final thought, what are your recommendation for our viewers today?
I guess I can take a first crack at this. Look, I'm a hardcore gamer, have been my whole life. We're doing this because we're passionate gamers, and we wanted to see gaming as a legitimate profession, an experience for anyone out there that might have this interest. So my advice would be reach out. And it's okay to embrace your passions. And there's organizations out there like YGG Southeast Asia, YGG, and some of the other sub-DAOs in our umbrella organization that can help you guys, realize your dreams or passions of making gaming a suitable and sustainable career. I would say, take a shot, do what you love, do what you're passionate about. Take a chance to see if this hobby is something that can sustain you and your family, and or at least supplement your needs, because it's out there, and we're welcoming. We'll do whatever it takes to help onboard you guys, make the experience less intimidating, because it can be pretty intimidating the first time setting up a wallet or transferring funds in and out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very scary. But we're here to partner with all gamers out there to make their first time and their onboarding experience as least painful as possible.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Irene. Any final words?
Um, if you are watching this and you are not a gamer, you are not left out of the community. Happy to report that Javier just now made a good point, and about our parents, right, scolding us for playing in Nintendo and games. Like, what's going to happen to you if you keep playing games? Not that there's only play to earn, but in Southeast Asia, we have started partnering up with universities who have called our scholarship as an academic scholarships, because we keep students in school so that they could pay for tuition fees. So whoever that you are, don't be intimidated by the metaverse world. Don't be intimidated by the new world that's here. Embrace them, because if you do not know them, then you can't really judge it. So I would really urge everyone to have an open mind and see what is available. And YGGC has an open hands to embrace everyone, regardless of whether you are pro gaming or not pro gaming. We'll just show you what it is, and then you can decide for yourself whether or not you would like to join the metaverse. But the door is always open for everyone out there with love. That's all
Okay.
that.
Oh, lovely, lovely words. Thank you very much. Well, from our side, Irene, Dan, thank you very much. Much appreciate this time that you have taken to share with us your project and to make us a little bit more knowledge about the metaverse. We appreciate that. To our viewers, again, thank you. You can always go back to see this video in our widget in latoken.com or in YouTube as well. Irene, Dan, once again, thank you very much. Would love to hear from you again on the show when you have more development, or even one of your deals, what they can come in their own language and have a presentation for us. That would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so
And
much, Javier. Really appreciate it.
thank you. You have a wonderful project, so we wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Bye bye.
Bye.